On Route 9 South in the little town of West Creek, part of Eagleswood Township, there is a house at the end of the road. It is a particular house and is an abnormal house. The windows are all dark and the house has an eerie feeling that is indescribable. The minute you walk by, chills crawl down your back. The house is so peculiar it looks as if it could be an insane asylum. The house is 4 stories tall with a steeple-like tower and pagoda-like roof. That's not what's odd about it. Atop a flat square space at the very pinnacle of the house sits in a lone chair. It's as lonely as the last donut in the box. The chair is not a fancy piece of furniture by any means, just a standard straight-back wooden seat, one that you might find placed around any modest kitchen table setting. People say that the chair was used during the Revolutionary War as a lookout post to spy advancing redcoat troops. Others say that it was used as a surveillance vantage point to monitor runners on Little Egg Harbor Bay. Others also known it as the punishment chair because they say a former resident would use it to punish her unruly children by banishing them to sit in the chair until they were ready to behave themselves. But the most commonly told story is about the ship captain's wife who would sit on the high perch, keeping a silent vigil, watching for a sign of her husband's return home from sea. But the structure wasn't always a house. It was built as hollow housing around the standpipe that pumped drinking water up from an artesian well in the state of Holgate, which is located across the bay from West Creek on Long Beach Island. The house was built around 1887, but by the early 20th century it was gone abandoned and was in disrepair. A Swedish immigrant, Albert Lindholm, purchased and moved it after 30 years to its current location. The chair first appeared atop the house sometime around 1940, originally there as a joke, until the chair began to be replaced by someone in the neighborhood. People thought it was Lindholm, but he said he hadn't replaced the chair after it was put up in the first place. People think it's the people from the stories, but if you don't believe me, just assume that it's the neighbors. Henry and Ann Tiska purchased the house after Lindholm died. In 1982, Tiska would dress a life-size human dummy as Santa Claus and seat it in the chair during the Christmas season. Phil and Susan Ward purchased the house next. They thought it was weird that the chair would always be up there. They noticed that the chairs would always be from local people's trash heaps. Phil and Susan Ward's son, Nathan Ward, purchased the house from his parents and converted it into office space for their business, Greenwood Tree Service. The last chair blew off the roof in a storm a few years ago, and locals became quite upset at the sight of the chairless chair house. Many people began to start dropping off their own chairs in hopes that they could replace it. To this day, the chair is firmly affixed and bolted down to make sure that it will stay on top of the house for a long time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye!